and you guys probably came on here for some training. Does anyone here want to learn some training? Does anyone on here come to learn a little bit about negotiating? A little bit about how to take their business to the next level? Sam says always. I got a yes from Ian. All right, now guys, I got to know, what have your sales been? What were your sales last month? Let me know in the chat. I need to get a temperature of the group. What were your sales, the total gross sales? If you want to tell me the net too, that's cool. But I kind of want to know the gross sales for last month. Red is at 9. We is at 10. Chris is only at 19. He took off half the month. And that's okay to take breaks. I was kind of lazy last month and only did 85,000. 1.6K. Dang. RJ, 9, almost 10. That's pretty fucking good. Lewis, 7, not bad. Will, 11. Ina gave me a smiley face, I think. Ina and Yosef, when they send in tests, it's all organized. And I think Ina's is highlighted. I love it. I'm like, it's easy to read. I love that stuff. Guys, so let's talk about something real quick. This business is now becoming an actual business. When I bought David's program, and we're going to get into the training here in a sec. When I bought David's program a year and a half ago, 2 years, almost 2 years ago, whenever it was, I messaged David, and I got the screenshot somewhere. And I messaged David the day I bought the program, and I said, hey, David, what's your top student doing a month? Because I wanted to beat them. I said, your top guy in the program, how much is he doing a month? And he goes, actually, Aaron, it's a she, and she did 13,000. And then he had a couple people that did 11,000. So way back in the day, phone flipping, and when I say way back in the day, I'm talking like in 2017. So I'm talking like 2 years ago. This was like not that long ago. I'm not talking about in 1980s. I'm talking about a couple years ago. Phone flipping was something you did part-time. You did it, and if you could do $10,000 a month, that was friggin' nuts. No one was doing over 10 grand a month. If you could do 10 grand a month and make $1,000 a week in profit, that's like the equivalent of making $10,000 a month in profit now. That was like the thing. That was like the top of the iceberg. The thing people were doing is if you can make $500 a week in profit phone flipping, that was really good. And that's because we only had access to so many tools. We got to think this business is primarily based on leads, right? Leads and negotiating and appraisals. The more leads you get, the better you are at this. So back in the day, it was Craigslist ads. Some of you guys remember this. Who here has been phone flipping for like over a year and a half? You've been phone flipping for over a year and a half. No, we've been phone flipping for, damn, Rit's been phone flipping. So you guys, if you guys were in David's program, you guys remember this. Because we just really had Craigslist back then. So we had one stream of source of income. So we had Craigslist. And this poll was giving us leads. And we were getting 10, 15 leads a day from that. And if you could pick up one phone a day from that, you were doing really good. So because of that, you just did this part-time, right? You didn't do it full-time. That's all you did. You just did it part-time. But after I got his program, we started discovering new stuff. And I remember because me and we have kind of been in this for a while. When we started discovering OfferUp. Shit, we got OfferUp? That was kind of cool, right? I remember OfferUp. I was like, wow, I got Craigslist. And then I got OfferUp. That's like awesome. I got 2 different places to get leads from. And now instead of getting 10 leads a day, I'm getting like 20 leads a day. This is great. And then we started discovering Letgo. And then we just started discovering 5 miles, which some people actually do real good with 5 miles, which is why it's recommended to do everything. And then narrow it down to what's working the best from you. And then, I was like, wow, we got all these things. And then it wasn't too much longer afterwards, a few months longer, we discovered Marketplace. And in the beginning, we didn't know what the heck we were doing. We were kind of pioneering it. So I was making a new account like every month. Because every month, my Marketplace is getting banned. Because I didn't know hot and cold theory. I didn't create that yet, right? So I didn't know about the temperature and how there's a temperature of your account that you guys know about now. So every month, I'm making a new Facebook. Because I'm putting some ads, and they get removed, and then my account gets banned. And then I log in, and Facebook says, your Marketplace has been disconnected. So I didn't know about anything. So we're figuring it all out, right? This happened for probably a good year as we're figuring it out, and we're figuring out how to the best way to work this. And the other thing we had to figure out was that people started to communicate a lot through Messenger. You guys remember Craigslist, most of it was calling. It was mostly calling. And calling was the best thing, by the way. If you can get someone to call you, that's the highest on the platform. That's all the way up here. Because their commitment level's higher. When, when they say, hey, Steve, grab my phone from the charger. And, Betsy walks over and grabs the phone from the charger. He goes, all right, here's your phone, Steve. What's my password again? It's 11111. Okay, 11111. And he types it in, and Steve's like, all right, which icon is it? Because they just got the iPhone, right? Oh, it's this one. And they type, and they do all that. And they call you, they're very, very committed. Messaging is a less commitment. So we had to figure this out, right? We had to figure out, we had to pioneer it, and we had to figure all this out together. But by figuring it out, and then David, of course, came out with the paid Facebook ads, and he came up with the Facebook groups. And then David came out with Facebook stories. He came out with all this stuff. So now we're at the point where when you do everything, you can get like 30 to 50 plus leads a day. And when you're getting 30 to 50 plus leads a day, you can really work numbers. And when you can really work numbers, instead of hoping to pick up one phone a day and that's a win, you can line your schedule up and pick up 3-4 phones a day consistently, which now allows you to, instead of doing $500 a week in profit and that doing good, you can do $10,000 a month in profit and make a real solid income with this business and be able to support you and your family and your kids and your significant other if you want to, because you're making a fucking $100,000 plus a year in profit with this. So this business has never been better. There's never been a better time to get into this business because you don't have to come in a couple years ago when we just had Craigslist. You're not coming in a year ago when we were figuring stuff out. I mean, we remembers that, and Chris probably remembers that. Chris will tell you that some of the stuff I was teaching a year ago about the apps, totally different than now. We didn't have hot and cold theory. It was put up an ad. Hopefully it sticks. We're going to cross our fingers. And maybe tomorrow we'll have to make a new account. Maybe tomorrow we can use the same account, right? So you guys are coming in at a really, really, really good time because we have a lot of this stuff figured out, and you can take this information and roll with it, and you don't have to go through some of the pain that we had to go through. That's right, and it was repeat business and repair screens. That was the thing, and I did a couple repairs, and you can make money with repairs. There was a guy that you can, but I'm kind of lazy, right? So I could do a repair, or I could just sit there and negotiate for 5 minutes and drive 10 minutes back and make $150. I picked up right before the group chat, I picked up a phone for $70. I should sell for about $250, hopefully $270. So it's very nice. We're in a very good position here where we can all win. Alex says that's what I'm looking to do to support his family. I mean, Feldon got in. Feldon was in Next Level and in VIP, and in a couple months he retired his wife, making $300, $400, $500 a day in profit consistently. His wife quit his job, right? So you can do amazing things in this business. That's right. And the script, guys, the script I had before, it was cool. It was closing deals, but we didn't have the stuff we know now. I've been in over 25,000 message negotiations, and I keep going through a couple hours of self-improvement a day, so I'm able to just get deeper, and I just kind of am aware of stuff now. Good news, you guys don't have to go through all that stuff. We can skip the learning curve and get you the nuts and bolts to where you can just kind of skyrocket and start winning. There's still going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but for you to kind of get the level I'm at, or let's say 95% of the way, you probably only have to go through a good 1,000+ negotiations, which you can do in a solid month with the structure we have, and not have to go through 25,000 message negotiations over a year and a half, which is why we're able to level people up. And this almost sounds like I'm selling something. I have nothing for sale. You guys are already in. You guys are, and I have Next Level 2.0, where you're going to get the advanced scripts, and it's only 10 grand. None of that. You guys are already in. I'm just letting you guys know you guys are in a very good place at this point. So with that said, let's dive into some message negotiation. All right. Oh, I guess I should share the screen, right? Chris is sold. Chris, just send me over that 10 grand in a wire, and we'll get you next level 2.0 and next level 3.0. Chris is ready to go. And in next level 2.0, I put up all your ads for you. I personally negotiate and close all the deals, and I get everyone to meet you at a location where you want at one specific time once a day, so you can get all your phones in one sweep and you can just pick up free money. Too good to be true says, well, I just made that stuff up off the top of my head. That's obviously not true at all. And if I can't close the deals, David Kosciuszko will get on the phone and he'll close the deals. If I can't close them through Messenger, David will call them and he will close them through the phone. That's how we'll do it. I would pay 10 grand for that. I'd pay 10 grand for that too. All right, so let's see. I'm sharing the screen, right? I got the right screen shared. Screen 3. Let me go here. All right, so let's get into some actual stuff so we can get you guys some better information. Now, what I will tell you guys is I very much appreciate you guys posting the message negotiations. I like to rip them apart. I like to, sometimes I get a little pissed off when it's not following the correct outline, which nothing's perfect, right? We're always working on improving everything. But I appreciate it when you guys put yourselves out there because it allows everyone else to learn. And it can be the word's not intimidating, but it can be humbling when I tell you that there's 4 or 5 different things that we need to work on. But so it helps out everyone else. So I know it can be kind of nerve-wracking putting it out there. So anytime you guys do it and you guys let me use one of your conversations, it's very beneficial. And anyone else here that's too nervous to post their conversations, consider posting it. Put yourself out there. Because when I can dig deep and really critique a conversation, I can take you from like a level 4 to like a level 8, 8.5 instantly because it's customized to where you're at. The other thing that's good is when different people are posting it and I'm not critiquing the same persons, people have different challenges. And sometimes a lot of breakthroughs I have come from breaking down your guys' stuff and like, actually, there's this one thing that I do subconsciously for the last 1.5 years I didn't even realize till I looked at this conversation, and it's something I had to figure out how to teach in the moment to make the conversation as smoothly as possible, and it's something we add to the negotiating. So it's all beneficial. I very much appreciate it. Also appreciate you guys being here. There's a bunch of other things you guys could be doing besides listening to some guy in a tank top with somewhat of a raspy voice rambling to a microphone for an hour. So I'm going to make sure that I deliver and deliver some value to you guys today to hopefully make it worth your while so you guys can level up and improve your negotiating. So in the future, you guys can keep going out there and kicking butt. So with that said, let's dive into it. Someone give me some rules when it comes to message negotiating. I need some rules. What are some rules? Dang, Alex is like, let me go ahead and pre-type all this out. Because Aaron's going to ask them. All right, well, allow me to get this out. RWOCM, lead by asking questions. Micro steps. Chris says the 4 parts effective counter offer. Ooh, Sam's coming in here. Very good. Sam's been going through the training. 3 questions max before offer. 3 levels. Very good. Mirror. Will says, I see you. That's very good. Whenever someone throws in something, see, I like that. Don't pull out. I forgot about that. Don't pull out. That's right. Oh, that's a new one. No, I'm just kidding. It's just it's an older expression we have that's important. So let's talk about all this. RWOCM. So anytime you ever buy a phone, you're going to walk the customer through this 5 steps. Step number 1 is the customer reaches out to you. The customer is going to reach out to you. They're going to say, I'm interested in this item. Then we're going to immediately go to step to W. W is we got to figure out what they have. We got to figure out what they have, and then we got to make them an offer. After we figure out what they have, we're going to make them an offer. After we make them an offer, we're going to close them. After we close them, we're going to go for the meetup. Now, there's certain things. So like the W, what are the 3 things we got to know before the W before we make an offer? We can actually break this down a little bit more now that the script has kind of gotten a little bit more advanced. The W, we got to figure out. That's right, Alex. Absolutely. We got to figure out the condition, carrier, model. So we're going to figure out the condition. We're going to figure out the carrier. We're going to figure out the model. We're going to figure out these 3 in the W steps. So we're taking the W. We're putting it right here. So follow me here, team. We're figuring out these 3 things before we go to the next step. Now, I got an advanced question for all you advanced phone flippers out there. And it's funny to see some of you guys doing 10 grand a month, which was like the peak. And you guys, Aaron, I'm pissed off. I only made 4 grand last month in profit. All right. It's funny how we grow, which is good. It's good to grow. I'm not hating on it because I'm the same way. Growth is good. So anyway, let me get back on topic here. When we come to the W stand and we figure out the condition to carry the model, for the advanced phone flippers out there in the chat, let me know, why do we not get any other pieces of information? Because, guys, if I got the gigabytes and it was a higher gigabytes, I could offer more money and it could potentially help me close the deal because I might be able to offer another 20, 30, 40 bucks. Chris says, not needed too many questions. Lewis says, use it later. Can go up in price later. You guys are correct. So there is a certain amount of momentum that is created when you go from each step. And I'm going to prove this to you guys here in a sec. So when you can go from R to W and W to O and O to C and C to M, and you can do this pretty quickly, there is an invisible momentum that's built up underneath the conversation, which allows you to close faster and makes everything easier. Because it's what the customer wants. Because the customer doesn't want to answer 10,000 questions. They don't care. They don't even want to answer 1 question. But we got to ask a couple questions because we got to figure out the most important things. But if you ask too many questions, you start to stall here. Who here that's been doing this for a while can kind of get the feeling that you're stalling too much on W and the momentum's dying down, and you can almost get a sense that the customer is getting a little aggravated, and you're like, all right, I need to go O. I need to send an offer out. I'm stalling too long here. Alex says, yep, I have. If anyone else has, just give me a yes. So Will got a yes from Will. I definitely have as well. And once I got a yes from Lewis, yes from we. So, and you guys will feel that, especially you guys are just starting out, you will start to feel it. So because of that, we don't want to stall too long. And because we don't want to stall too long, we're just going to figure out the condition to carry the model. We're going to assume the lowest gigabyte and just make an offer. Because it's better to assume the lowest gigabyte and make an offer and move through this process than to ask the gigabytes because it stalls too much there. And through testing this a gazillion times and having other members test it, it's better to just get these 3 pieces of information and keep it pushing because the conversation flows better. Now, that will lead to what Sam said and what I think Alex said as well, to where we're going to ask 3 questions max at the W point. We're going to ask 3 questions max. So we usually ask, okay, great. What iPhone do you have? They say an iPhone 8 Plus. All right, great. Any problems with it? Nope, not at all. Okay, and which company is it with? That's what we usually do. Sometimes, though, if there's a specific thing we have to get more, we have to ask more questions to get details. So, for example, we might say, them. I'm interested in this item. By the way, if the customer ever says, I'm interested in this item on Letgo, how do we respond to that in the chat? How do we respond to that? How do we respond to that in the chat? Oh, gosh. Another person is not reading the freaking image and they think I'm selling the thing. Oh, Chris did it correct. You always assume that the person has something for sale, even if they say something like this until proven otherwise. So when they say I'm interested in this item, you will assume that they are saying they're interested in your ad, not the actual phone itself, until proven otherwise. Very important. Okay, great. What do you have for sale? Awesome. What do you have? Great. What do you have? All those are perfect. I rate them 10 out of 10. It's perfect. So we say, okay, great. What do you have for sale? Them. This is our first question. iPhone 8 Plus. What do I say next? Ooh, any problems with it? Them? Yeah. The screens cracked up. All right, what are we going to say now? Any issues with it? Any problems with it? There it is. So now that the screen's cracked, this is not enough. We got to know about the LCD, right? We got to know what's going on, because if the LCD or the digital, so maybe if there's like ink spots, black ink spots, or like pink lines on the screen, that's going to dramatically lower the value. So now we have to ask a question to figure that out. Sam asked if there's any black dots on the screen. Chris asked if there's any lines or ink spots on the screen. I love it. Any lines or ink spots on the screen? Them? Nope. Now let's see. We asked 1 question, 2 questions, 3 questions. So now I don't know the carrier because I spent an extra question figuring out the specifics of the condition. So now, but I've already asked 3 questions. Dang, you guys, Aaron. Okay, so my question was going to be, what do I do now? Assume it's Sprint. Sprint bad ESN. You guys are right. We assume it's Sprint bad ESN because that's the lowest carrier. And we don't really have to worry about, being less. And the reason we do that is we've already asked our 3 questions, and we got a 3-question max rule at the W thing. So we ask our 3 questions, and then we go to the offer. You guys see that? Very important. These little micro subtle details, guys, not one of them is going to get you rich. But when you guys combine all this stuff, you're going to make a lot of money. What's up, Ant? Ant, how much sales did you do last month? I was going to ask. So you got to let me know in the chat, Ant. So we're at this. So let's see. What else do we have? We got micro steps. Someone tell me what micro steps are in the chat. I need to know what micro steps are. You're like, Aaron, you're making me do a lot of work. Well, yes, because interaction's good. Gets the brain thinking, gets the blood flowing. I don't know if the blood actually flows when it goes to the brain. I'm just, I'm just saying something to sound kind of cool. Alex says it's the next small bit to the next step. All right, now I want you guys all pay attention here. Who else is on here? Kratz, what's up, Kratz? Dan Kennedy? Is that Dan Kennedy? Oh, David Kennedy. All right. Who else is here? I already said hi. Anyone else? I'm right now. Cool. So let's talk about micro steps. Micro steps is, dang, Ant did 52 grand last month. Fantastic, Ant. Ant lives 12 minutes from me, by the way. When you get good at this stuff, you can crank out money. And you guys know Aaron didn't do too bad either last month. I was a little lazy last month. I still did about 85 grand. Micro steps. The next, yeah, that's it. I know, Chris, I was a little lazy. I don't know. I took some time off, and I took a couple days off. It was only 85 grand. Micro step is the next small bit to the next step in the negotiation process. Yep, I remember that. That's fantastic. That's awesome. I like how everyone here integrates and migrates with everyone. So micro steps is the next small bit to the step in the negotiating process. Let me show you. Okay. So the customer says they got a phone, and you make an offer. Awesome. I can give you $500 for it. Them. Okay, cool. All right. Do you buy TVs by any chance? So a micro step is something along the lines of a micro step. So here's and this happens. This happens where you make an offer and they say something else. Do you buy TVs? Do you have any phones for sale, right? They ask us some weird stuff, right? I've had people try to sell me, just all sorts of weird stuff, right? You got anything else? I got this TV. This one guy's got a junk car. They want me to buy their car in their house. So what we got to do is we got to bring them back on the phone. But we can't be a butthole about this and ignore them. So we're going to say, unfortunately, I don't. However, I'm happy to buy your iPhone from you. So this is like a micro step. Now, what is a not micro step? A not micro step would be, unfortunately, I don't. However, I'm happy to buy your phone from you and meet you today with cash. Bad example. Now, I want to explain. I want you guys all to understand this. The reason this is bad, unfortunately, I don't. However, I'm happy to buy your phone from you and meet you today with cash. The reason this is bad is it's not a micro step. We're getting too ahead of ourselves. Step number one is to bring the customer back into the conversation. Meet them today with cash is something we do in a persuasive manner if we're kind of negotiating with price, right? Or they want to think of, it's something we do when it comes to the negotiating aspect. That's premature at this point. There's no reason to say that because we haven't determined from the customer if they're happy with the deal or not, right? They haven't given us any indication. If they're not happy with the deal, then we'll move to the next step where we'll eventually figure out what they want, and then we'll eventually hit them with the 4 parts with the benefits of meet them today with cash. We don't have to put that here. So give me a 1 in the chat if that makes sense. The micro step just brings them back into the conversation and brings them kind of at the next level they're at right here. So we might be kind of right here, right? We're like at the first dot. It's not even letting me do it. But you guys understand, we're at like the first dot. And some people, they jump like 3 dots ahead. So we go from this dot to the next dot to the next dot. All right, I just kind of want to make sure we're on the same page. All right, so now let's do a message negotiation. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and break down one of I think it was, well, let's see. It was this one, right? Guys, this was a good video. I'm going to start using that myself. David K. So we're going to break down David K. And if we have time, we'll do another one as well. All right, hold on now. I could give you any more. All right. All right. Is David on here? Let's see. David Kennedy. Well, guys, I can't break this one down because I need to start from the beginning. Because as we know, sometimes there's certain things in the beginning that you say or they say that determine how we're going to tweak what we do later on. Their commitment level, their level, the way that they talk, 10,000 billion things. So, unfortunately, we can't use this one. So that's okay. We're going to hop to the next level. The customer says they have an iPhone 8, 256 gigabyte from AT&T. Absolutely, Sam. Then we would just ask the condition. So when you're making it, when you're doing the 4, let me just explain real quick. Good question, Sam. So when you're doing this thing right here, sometimes they give you all the information up front. Sometimes they tell you certain things. So sometimes they'll tell you like the phone and the carrier or the phone and the condition, or sometimes they tell you everything. So as soon as you get everything, you make an offer. Sometimes they say, hey, I got an XX Max, 64 gigabyte, sealed, got it right from the store, AT&T. Do you buy those? And my first response is, yes, I do, comma, I can give you X amount for it. And I've closed deals like that too, because you got everything you need. You just go to the next step at that point. Good question. Very good question. All right, where's Mr. RJ at? RJ's like, I'm here, but my conversation's over there. All right, well, let's go ahead and pull this up. All right, RJ, let's see what you got going on here. Guy says, I'm interested. I have an iPhone 8 for sale, $400. So, of course, we never care about the price because, we don't care about any of that. Hey, Alex, any problems with it? All right, so let's see what we got here. Let's go ahead and break this sucker down. Let's see what we got. Let's break this down. I'm interested. I have an, oh, I like that image, by the way. I have an iPhone 8 for $400. He said, hey, Alex, any problems with it? So I like it. What's RJ doing right here? Right? We're, first of all, ignoring the price. Because, guys, what is the saying Aaron always says? What's the saying Aaron always says? What the customer wants for their phone and what they will accept for their phone are two specific numbers. Okay? Guys, every now and then I get all excited and I go look at Camaros. And there's this automated chat lady thing that pops up and she says, hey, thanks for reaching out to us. How can I help you? And I said, well, I really want to buy a new car, but I don't want to spend any money. So let me get my stuff together, and then I'll let you know, right? So, you know, I know if I'm going to buy a car, I have to spend some money, right? So there's what people want, ideally in a perfect world, and what they will accept. We're not going to worry about the price here. We're going to deal with that later. Let's get the details. So, RJ, this is very good, right? The amateur would immediately argue the price. Well, $400 seems a little high. Would you do any less? But you can't even do any of that because what are you going to offer it against? You don't know the condition. You don't know the carrier. There's a lot of things you don't know. So this is very good. This is very good. RJ, let me see, where's RJ at? This is very good, RJ. RJ, this is very good. So he ignored the price. Very good. And then he went right into any problems with it. We went right into leading with a question because we lead with questions and went right into going to figuring out where's the chat at? The condition, so we know at least what guys, hold on a sec. My screen's all funky. Oh, and I got to get a new battery for it. Goes right into figuring out. Goes right into figuring out the problems that he has with it. So it's very good, very good. Everything is fantastic here. Okay. Next guy thinks there's no problems. Now, I probably want to figure out, we got the phone, we got the condition. What's the next thing that we're missing? What is the next thing that we're missing? Next thing that we're carrier. Awesome. And what company was it with? Like that. Awesome. Okay, great. We got to use these awesomes and okay, greats because it gives it, we use those about half the time. It gives them, it kind of compliments them, keeps the energy good. What company was it with Sprint? Oh, well, we ain't offering too much for something like that. Now, let's see what RJ said next. Okay, great. I can do 140 on it for you. I usually don't like to use the for you, but I'm not hating on it too much. I like, guys, see, I like Chris. Okay, great. Guys, hold on. Let me get this. One of these days, guys. Okay. Okay, great. I can give you 140 for it. So if I was going to make an offer, I would actually use a medium offer. I would probably use a medium offer because he already told me what he wanted for it. But the way I like to make offers and the way that I teach to make offers is, okay, great. I can give you 140 for it. Why do we say it like this? Because it's very clear you're making an offer, you're making a point, and you're using the least amount of words. You're using the least amount of words possible to prove the point. Okay, great. I can do 140 on it for you. And RJ, what? Okay, let me do. Making the offer, each of these different. This is not going to kill the deal in any way, shape, or form. This offer is not going to kill the deal in any way. It's still a solid offer and easy to understand. I just like to say it like this. So that's just me. Also, the way I do it like this is the dollar amount is at the end, and people remember the last thing that you tell them. So I want them thinking about the dollar amount here more than kind of anything else, right? Again, it's 4 words and 2 words. This is a very micro detail, but you guys just kind of see how it is. That's why, and you know this matters because in the 4 parts of an effective counteroffer, the benefits are at the end. Meet you today with cash is at the end. So it's the structure of it matters. So I'm not going to harp on it too much. You guys kind of get my view on it. This is totally fine. I just like this way a little bit more. For the 8, see, what I would have done is because he said he wanted 400 for it, he said he wanted 400, but obviously no one under the sun is going to pay 400 for an iPhone 8 used. No one is going to pay 400. I would have used a medium offer. Okay, great. It's a great phone. Would you do any less than 400 if I met you today with cash? So let Mr. Goldstein think about this. No. I would have said, I would have done a medium offer. Would you do 140 if I met you today? Because the reason I'm changing, you say, Aaron, hold on now. I thought the first offer is the first offer. Reason I would change it up a little bit is because he already told me what he was looking to get for it. So I want to acknowledge that he said an offer and not completely ignore it. I want to acknowledge the offer that he said, but still put my offer out here. So wording it like this and kind of changing the different dynamics for the specific situation because he said what he wanted, which isn't too uncommon, but it's not the most common thing. I'm doing a little intent, and I'm putting my offer out there, but my offer is just a little bit softer. So I'm still acknowledging that he wants the 400. I'm not ignoring him on that, while I'm putting my offer out there in a fairly solid way with a medium offer and not a soft offer. You guys kind of understand why I did this? RJ says, yeah, I see what you're saying, though. I was thinking this in the moment, too. I wasn't sure the type of offer to do. But it's good. This is the reason we come on group chat and we do message negotiations. So these weird situations that happen 5% of the time, next time you guys are in this situation, and 5% of the time, you'll be able to move. You guys see all I did is I moved around different parts of the kind of overall full script and different subscripts, but I did it in a way to complement where he was at. So very good. This is very good. And this is why I like it when you guys post these conversations. Now, I guess what you're doing is you're treating him like a level 3. But we don't really need to treat him like a level 3 because what we're doing here is we're being a little uncalibrated, which is not your fault, RJ, because you're doing a lot of things right. You know, these weird situations, you got to learn what to do. So in the next situations, yeah, I treated it like a level 3. But the question I would ask is what gave it away to treat like a level 3? The guy didn't say, that's too low, bro, screw you. If he said that, then I would treat it like a level 3. It seems like he's trying to confirm that you're saying that you're offering him 140 for the 8, being the iPhone 8. So I'm getting more of the feeling like he's a level 2. Maybe closer to a level, yeah, probably a level 2. So it looks like you kind of went off on a path you didn't really have to go off on because he wasn't really at that level. You guys kind of see that? And you said, it's a great phone and I do need more 8s. It's just that as a reseller, I would need to be able to make a little profit. Would you be able to go any lower than 400 if I made today with cash? So, and I haven't seen any of the other conversation, but let's talk about this. See, so this is a little bit premature. We're treating it like a level 3 when it's a level 2, and a medium offer would have been a little bit better here. However, let me tell you what I think is going to happen. Okay, I haven't seen any of the conversations because Aaron's been out. I just been over here doing some work myself. What I think will happen is because he's a level 2, I bet he'll give a counter offer, and I feel like you'll be able to keep him engaged in the conversation. This was just, we didn't really have to do all this quite yet. It was just a little bit out of order. But it's not bad. And what I like about RJ is the things are a little bit, we could have done different pieces on the puzzle, but he's using all the pieces. He knows the pieces to use, which means RJ's been going through training, probably coming on these group chats, maybe going through training in the back office. So he has all the pieces. So it's very good. It's very good. I'm like, sometimes I see people and they don't understand the basic stuff, which means they're not even following the basic stuff outlines. It kind of pisses me off because I'm like, it's a fucking outline and I got scripts, copy it. You're doing everything right here, which is very good. It's very good, RJ. I'm like, I'm very impressed with. I'm impressed with how you got all the pieces down. It's just kind of in a different order, which is good because we just got to rearrange it and then everything will be good. It's not like we got to go out and find new pieces. So let's see what happens next. 350. Yeah, see, the guy said 350. The guy said 350, so we got him down, and we knew we would get him down because price the customer wants for their phone and what they'll accept are two different things. We could have used less words. Tell me something else you guys see. I just gave you guys a little hint. What's the other thing? I'm looking at something here. All right, that. Oh, there's a little. What am I seeing here? Chris probably sees it. Fluidity in the convo. Ooh. Momentum. Fluidity. The other thing is we're responding too much. See, he's being short and right to the point, and we would want to mirror this. So when he says 350, I would say, I didn't even see, but if he says 350 and he's real short, I would say, you do. Maybe I'd come up a little bit. I can meet whenever. So my response, because he's a little short, my response is a little short. You guys remember when I taught the reach out method, it was like a week ago. Remember the reach out method and I showed you the conversation and I broke it down? And I made all my responses shorter because the guys' responses were shorter as well. You guys remember that? Give me like a 1 in the chat if you guys remember that. If you guys distinctively remember that, when I was negotiating with him, because he was more right to the point, everything I said, I was still following the outline of the script, but it was all more right to the point as well because I was mirroring it. You guys remember that? If not, if I posted the conversation in VIP and in Next Level, just go scroll through and you'll see it. You have to mirror them because when they're saying really short stuff and you're continuously talking too much, you seem disorganized and you can seem kind of needy. You can seem kind of needy, and as soon as you come off a little needy, it puts you in a bad positioning because subconsciously the prospect gets the feeling, well, this person's talking a whole lot. They're like really talking a whole lot. I get the feeling that they really want, they're probably not going to articulate this consciously, but they probably feel it subconsciously. I can probably get more money out from this guy because he seems really invested because he's talking so freaking much. So let me go ahead and be a little bit tougher on him and see if I can squeeze out more money. Now, sometimes, guys, you do have to talk more, right? Especially when it's at the point to use the 4 parts of an effective counteroffer for the first time. You're probably using each of the 4 parts, but you got to be kind of calibrated with everything else. It's kind of advanced, but it's important to understand. 350 and it's yours. See, so the guy is, and because he's a level 2, he never actually fell into a level 3. It's probably closer to like a 1.5. He's just real short. And there's nothing wrong with being real short. They can be real short in their responses, but still really committed. It's just how people are, right? And some, now I'm going to cover that up. I didn't see that. RJ? RJ's like, oh, yeah, I'm just kidding, man. Listen, what the hell is this shit? This is not good. All right? Where in any script? Okay, RJ, what's going on? RJ, I love you, man. You're a good guy. Okay. And everything else was real good before this. Well, listen, David says, I don't think David says sell it on eBay. He says try selling it yourself yet. And there's really nothing wrong with that either. I just kind of teach a different method, right? But it's, what does this have to do with any? Try selling it on eBay. What if this dude might not have an eBay account? What if he has an eBay account and he's like, actually, that's a good idea. Some people I met up with a guy that I bought a phone from. It was like from their it was from them or their best friend. And the guy sold t-shirts on eBay for a living. He was showing me the stuff he sold. He sells on eBay for a living. And right there, it was his friend. And right there, his friend selling me his phone. And the guy never thought that, hell, maybe his buddy could just sell it on eBay. I don't want to give those guys the thought. Because most people are lazy. Some people are ambitious. You guys understand that? Right? So that's just, so you see. But it's okay, RJ. I love you, man. You're a good guy. You posted. It's okay. Doesn't use eBay. So this is what we should have done. The guy's negotiating price. So the correct response to this would be, I would have used a soft offer. In the perfect, I break it down two ways. The perfect scenario, I would use an excuse with a soft offer. It's just, I buy and sell and need to make a little profit. You do any less if I met you today with cash? So in the perfect world, this is what I would say to him right here. You guys see this? He will come down in price. He came down in price right away. It's an iPhone 8. He's not going to get $350. Guys, it's Sprint. It's a piece of crap. Might as well throw it out the window right now. So in the perfect world, this is what I would say to him in response to this. In this specific situation, because we already talked a little bit too much, I would have said, it's just Sprints are hard to unlock. You do any less? See, you guys see my struggle right here? I'm trying to keep it as short as possible to mirror him because I have the conscious awareness that I've already talked a little bit too much while I'm trying to put I'm trying to kind of have a good excuse. So I'm actually going to take out the intent here. And one of the other reasons I took out the intent here is the guy's still kind of in the convo. He's like a level 1.5 or a 2. If he was a level 3, the intent would be needed a little bit more. But because he's in there, I can just kind of negotiate a little bit more figures with him. You guys see that? Chris says he will come down. He put a question mark the first time in 350. That's true. That's Chris, very good point. You guys see the subtlety behind this? That's very, very good, Chris. Shows it's subtle. 350 question mark. He's not even solid with it. And some people are solid and they bluff with it. So I'm going to keep going, but RJ, we might. See, I don't even want to read all that because it's too much. Let's see what happens. I can't do 150. I know I can get lead by a normal reseller. Just don't feel like waiting. Need cash ASAP. Well, so that's good. You got him down to 300. That's good. Guys, the most important rule is the don't pull out rule. And the don't pull out rule is just a silly rule that we say that says stay in the convo, make at least 5 offers. Because you can mess up a lot of things, and it cannot be the smoothest deal, and you can actually you can be closing deals and still messing a lot of stuff up if you just stay in the combo. So I do like how RJ stayed in it. So a lot of the stuff could have been rearranged and smoother, but I do like how you stayed in it. And how do you learn? The best way to learn is to mess up a bunch of stuff by staying in the combo, come on and get critiqued, or watch some of the other negotiating trainings in the back office of whichever thing you're in, and see it there 300. I'll see if you get him down any lower. I like that. 250. 200. I like that. See? So RJ talked a little too much. RJ talked a little too much. He said some stuff that was kind of weird. But he used the right stuff. He stayed in there, right? And the other thing I like that you really did here, RJ, is you didn't get an ego. Fuck you. If anything changes, let me know, right? You said it was paid off. Hasn't been removed from Sprint account yet. All right, great. If it's unlocked, I can come to you with counts. Sound fair? You're pursuing. One of the things I like about RJ is sometimes you guys get your egos in the way, and you're like, oh, this person's invested in the conversation. Now that he's invested in the conversation, I'm going to leave the conversation. That way I get an ego boost and feel good because I don't need him and the guy needs me. And that way I can sit on my high throne feeling like the man broke as hell, not making any money. So I really like how RJ did not do that and how RJ was really trying to earn the guy's business. Very good. That's very, very good. Let's see. I like that Chris guy. Just trying to get what you feel you deserve. I know you're just trying to get what you feel. I see. I like that. See, so we talked a little too much, but you kept them in the convo. I like that. I like that. I like that. So there's a couple things we could have done. Overall, RJ, I mean, there's some things we need to improve, some lines we need to take off, some pieces we need to rearrange. But I like how you stayed in there and you kept using the different pieces. Awesome. I know you're just trying to get what you feel you deserve. That's a very good line. That's like a super strong intent line. Especially if you've had multiple back and forth and you're just trying to level with the person. Let me write this down just because Aaron might use that in the future. I know you are just trying to get what you feel you deserve. Oh, wow. Wow. That's very good. This is very, very, very good. This is very good. RJ, this is a good line. The highest I can go if it's unlocked, good, but I can come to you whenever. All right, I like that. So that's what I got. That's the review. That's the breakdown. So some things to tweak, but one of the things you did really good, RJ did two things. He stayed in the convo, and he was using all the pieces, just kind of using it in not the best order, but he knew all the pieces, right? If you're trying to put a puzzle together, and 75% of the pieces are missing because you didn't spend enough time watching training, you're never going to be able to complete the puzzle. When you put the pieces in the wrong order, that's the easiest thing to fix because you can just learn the right order to put it in. Perfect, RJ. RJ, that was really good. All right, Sam said critique my thing. Guys, it's 8 o'clock, but we do a critique in 5 minutes. Let's knock this out. Sam, I cannot critique this. I can't critique this because it's not the whole combo. I always need the whole combo from start to finish. I need to see what you say. I need to see how they say it. I need to see how they enter the conversation, if they used any pleasantries, if they were short. I need to see the time. I need to say everything because these conversations, guys, it's not just like a thing. It's like thinking. There's strategy. I need to get as much pieces as I can and look at everything from a big picture overview and all the little subtle things we do to be able to see what we're doing. Now, I could do like a mini critique, but it's not really going to be that effective because it's awesome. Yeah, I need to see the whole thing. I need to see the whole thing. The first thing is whenever we make an offer on both phones, we always use one offer line. Okay, great. I can give you $65 for both phones. We can kind of break this down and do it real quick since it's just kind of a mini critique. Awesome. So you see, awesome. For the 7, I can give you 45, and the Essex cracked, I can give you 15, total 60. So what we want to say, Sam, is whenever you're making an offer on both phones or multiple items, it's okay, great. I can give you $60 for both phones. You always want to say it like this for two reasons. One, it's easier to read. It's less words. And the one bigger number is more attractive than smaller numbers. I had a guy bring me 14, no, it was only 12 maxes like a week ago. It was like a $9,000 cash deal. So I could have said, well, for this one that's missing the plastic, it's this much. And for this one that's got the plastic, it's this much. And for the sealed one, it's this much. And the 64 is this much. But I said, okay, great. I can give you, it was like $9,160 for all 12 phones. Just keeps it simpler. Chris likes bigger numbers. No worries. Sam, let's see. Can you do? I know the iPhones. I like that. Any idea how many gigabytes? Let's see. They're great phones, and I really like to buy them. I love that intent. Why did you say have your business partner meet you? What's that have to do with anything? And you can check this off the list. All right. Well, this is not the 4 parts of an effective counteroffer. This is the intent line's good. There should be, what's missing here, team? They're great phones, and I really like to buy them. 2 intent, strong. We are missing the excuse. Check this off the list of things. We actually don't need to say that anymore. That's from like the old script. But I see where you're saying that, and it's Aaron's fault. It wasn't the old script. But we're missing an excuse. We got the benefits, but it's not in the right order. So what I need you to do, Sam, is go back in the back office and watch the second video in the script section. The second video in the script section it's not the script, but it's like the one right underneath there. That will show you how to fix this. Correct way to fix it, of course, is but Sam, I never trust them anyway, but you're going to meet them face to face in a public place, right? So I don't like the business partner thing because it's like you're passing it off to someone else. It's better to have them meet you, and they're going to meet you. So just have them meet you. You're going to meet them somewhere public in a safe location. So there's nothing to really worry about with that, right? I mean, you're meeting them, inside the McDonald's, inside the Walmart, inside the gas station. But then again, that's what I would do. You can, of course, do however you'd like to do it. But I would, it's like when I'm meeting up with someone and I negotiate with them, they're like, all right, my brother's going to meet you. Well, I still go meet them, but it almost sounds like it's more of a switch up if their brother's going to meet them. Because I was dealing with them, they knew the details, but now their brother's going to meet them. Is it going to be a bait and switch, right? What if they meet up with the business partner and what if they meet up with the business partner and the business partner doesn't know the details, and then you got to be like, well, hold on now. The other guy said this. There's too many of those things, right? It's better to deal with someone on the same level. You guys are going to, of course, tweak it how you want. I'm just giving you the best scenario. And then this other thing needs to be tweaked. We got to put the cash at the bottom. The benefits go at the bottom, and there's no excuse here. But what did Sam do good here? Sam stayed in the conversation. And Sam did a little intent, and he did. You made another offer right there, which was good. So, and then you went right for the meetup, which was good. So a couple things we need to tweak, but then again, Sam, you've been in here for like 10 days, right? So it's not like I'm expecting you to be perfect at this. So a couple things to tweak, but there's some good things as well in there. All right, guys, that's what I got. 8:06. We went a couple minutes over. No problem at all. Did I see someone on here I haven't seen before? I've seen Ina and Yosef. Yep. Margaret, Michael H. Send hi to Will. Let's see. All right, guys. Well, that's what I got for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get going. Yeah, Chris says, sounds a little messed up. Sounds a little weird. Are there going to be 2 of you and 1 of me? Yeah, that's right. And you never want to think when it's 2 and 1 because it sounds – the guy that brought me those phones, those 12 phones, he had a couple friends with him. They sat in the car across from the parking lot, and me and him did a deal face-to-face. If he brought in 2 people with him And I'm kind of a big dude, but it was me and 3 other guys. I would have said something. I would have been like, I would have, before we did the deal, I'd been like, I prefer to just deal with you, right? Because there's more of like a chance of something happening, right? But that's what I got. So how was this group chat for you guys? Did you guys all learn something here? Hopefully a few things we can apply in our next negotiations to take your business to the next level. No worries, Lucev. Thanks for saying something. Absolutely, Sam. Good refresher, says Chris. Chris is like, Aaron, I make too much money. I can do this stuff in my sleep. One thing I like about Chris, though, Chris always is on these group chats. He's pretty consistent with coming on here. Some people, they come on here for a month or two, and then they fall off for 6 months. Chris doesn't make every group chat, but Chris has probably been the most consistent person out of anyone in Next Level, out of the 200-plus members, because of someone that's coming on these group chats. Chris doesn't have a car. He's done 30 grand a month before in sales. He did like 20 grand last month and took half the month off. Doesn't have a car to get people to come to him because he's practicing the principles of the slide edge. He knows that if you get better information, and you don't have to come on these group chats as long as you're watching stuff you're watching the replays, right? Or you're watching any of the training in the back office, that's beneficial as well. But when you come on here and you're consistently learning and you get a couple people, think about the information you learn here. You do this for fucking 3 months. You come on every fucking group chat, all of David's group chats. You go through the training. You get a few bits of information every day that compounds in a big, big, massive way that you might not even be able to understand. And in a few months, you're able to close just a gazillion people because you know because there's probably only 50 or 100 little weird scenarios you have to understand. And you see all those scenarios by eventually coming on all the trainings. You know exactly what to apply. And then you're like the status I made. There's no trick. You've now increased and became the type of person where success becomes easy. And making money is a byproduct of the discipline you have, the knowledge you have, and the skill set and your ability to consistently get people down in price on their phones and get them to sell you their phones at a price where you can flip it and make a big profit with. So that's what I got for you guys. It's great. You guys are funny. Great hanging out with you guys. Bye for now.